Hello friends, I am Dr. Ghadsing, PG, Head Department of Botany, Sri Siddheshwar Mahavidyalaya, Mazalgaon. Welcome to this lecture. In the last lecture, we have seen the definition, concept, origin and evolution of biodiversity. And today, we are going to discuss about types of biodiversity. So, how many types of biodiversity occurred in the world? So simply, we can say biodiversity can be divided into four types. First, it's called genetic biodiversity. Second, it's called species biodiversity. Third, it's called ecosystem biodiversity. And fourth, it's called functional biodiversity. These are the four types of biodiversity. Biodiversity is a key measure of the health of any ecosystem and of our entire planet. Every organism in an ecosystem or bio relies on other organisms and the physical environment. For example, plant and animal species need each other for food and depend on the environment for water and shelter. Biodiversity describes how much variety an ecosystem has in terms of resources and species, and also genetically within species. A more diverse ecosystem will have more resources to help it recover from famine, drought, disease, or even the extinction of a species. There are several levels of biodiversity, each indicating how diverse the genes, species, and resources are in a region. Now, we will look at the genetic biodiversity. Genetic diversity is related to genes. We know the transmission of some factors from one generation to another generation is done by the genes, and it occurs in some species. We're talking about a particular species. Then such kind of genetic biodiversity will be occurred. Genetic diversity is defined as variation in the genetic composition of individuals within or among species. Diversity of genes within species increases its ability to adapt to adverse environmental conditions. When varieties or populations of these species are destroyed, the genetic diversity within the species is diminished. Every species here today contains genetic information that represents thousands to millions of years of adaptations to the Earth's changing environmental conditions and is the raw material for future adaptations. Loss of biodiversity not only reduces the availability of ecosystem services but also decreases the ability of species, communities, and ecosystems to adapt to changing environmental conditions. Biodiversity is nature's insurance policy against disasters. Some people also include human cultural diversity as part of the Earth's biodiversity. The variety of human culture represents numerous social and technological solutions to changing environmental conditions. Genetic diversity is very important because it helps maintain the health of a population by including alleles that may be valuable in resisting diseases, pests, and other stresses. If the environment changes, the population that has a higher variability of alleles will be better able to evolve to adapt to the new environment. Now, next, species diversity. Species diversity refers to the variety of species within a region. Such diversity can be measured in many ways, and scientists have not settled on a single best method. The number of species in a region, its species richness, is one often used measure, but a more precise measurement taxonomic diversity also considered the relationship of species to each other. For example, an island within two species of birds and one species of lizards has greater taxonomic diversity than an island with three species of birds. Thus, even though there may be more species of beetles on Earth than all other species combined, they do not account for the greater part of species diversity because they are so closely related. Similarly, many more species live on land than in the sea, but terrestrial species are more closely related to each other than ocean species are. So, diversity is higher in marine ecosystem than a strict count of species would suggest. Every ecosystem contains a unique collection of species, all interacting with each other. Some ecosystem may have many more species than another. In some ecosystems, one species has grown so large that it dominates the natural community. When comparing the biodiversity of ecosystems, an ecosystem that has a large number of species but no species greatly outnumbering the rest would be considered to have the most species diversity. A large number of species can help an ecosystem recover from ecological threats, even if some species go extinct. Then next, ecosystem diversity. Here, ecosystem divided two words. First, eco and second, system. Eco is related to environment and system is in an interactive group. Ecosystem is made up of two things. First is living things and other is non-living things. So, we can say interrelationship or interaction between living things as well as non-living things. Or the interrelationship between biotic environment as well as abiotic environment is called ecosystem. Or there are different living and non-living components in our ecosystem which are dependent on each other due to many reasons. This dependency on each other creates a system which is known as ecosystem. The term ecosystem was first coined by A.G. Tansley, 1935. A region may have several ecosystems or it may have one. Wide expanses of oceans or deserts would be examples of regions with low ecological diversity. A mountain area that has lakes, forests, and grasslands would have higher biodiversity. In this sense, a region with several ecosystems may be able to provide more resources to help native species survive, especially when one ecosystem is threatened by drought or disease. Besides ecosystem diversity, many other expressions of biodiversity can be important. These include the relative abundance of species, the age structure of populations, the pattern of community in a region, changes in community composition and structure over time, and even such ecological process as predation, parasitism, and mutualism. Next, functional diversity. Functional diversity refers to the diversity of ecological processes that maintain and are dependent upon the other components of diversity. Functional diversity includes the many ecological interactions among species, given example, predation, parasitism, and mutualism, etc., as well as ecological processes, such as nutrient retention and recycling. It also includes the varying tempos and intensities of natural disturbance that many species and communities require if they are to persist. Biodiversity is the result of 3.5 billion years of evolution. The origin of life has not been definitely established by science. However, some evidence suggests that life may already have been well established only a few hundred million years after the formation of the Earth, until approximately 500 million years ago. All life considered of bacteria, protozoans, and similarly single-celled organisms. The way species behave, obtain food, and use the natural resources of an ecosystem is known as functional diversity. In general, a species-rich ecosystem is presumed to have high functional diversity because there are many species with many different behaviors. Understanding an ecosystem's functional diversity can be useful to ecologists trying to conserve or restore damaged it, because knowing the behaviors and roles of species can point to gaps in a food cycle or ecological niches that are lacking species. So, in today's lecture, we have studied genetic biodiversity, species biodiversity, ecological biodiversity, and functional biodiversity in different forms of biodiversity. I hope you understand